Hello, stream. I feel like it's been a while since we've done this together, but I'm happy to be here. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is doing really well. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while. I think it's been like over a week since I did my last stream, but I've been here and I'm back and I'm ready to start working on this app that we started on last time. So I don't know how you guys had your evening so far, but we just had dinner for today. It actually was snowing quite a bit here, so we thought it would be like a good thing to have some budae or Korean army stew, and we just threw together really everything that we had in the house. We're trying to hold back right now on buying groceries because we're actually in the process of getting a new deep freeze so that we can store more stuff. When we first got into our place, we actually bought the house with a deep freeze, so it was really nice that we had like this extra room. When we go into Costco, we can buy like more stuff for us, like storing more meats, more frozen food. It was just really nice, especially at the beginning of when we first bought the house, because we didn't actually have air conditioning, so we spent a lot of our time eating those like freezies, so we call them, those like ice popsicles, just like try to keep cool. Eventually though, we did end up getting some, what is it called? Some air conditioning, so it was really good. But then last year around like winter time, the deep freeze at our place, it ended up breaking down, so that's why we have like a new one coming in next week, and I'm really excited about that. But we're also trying to hold off on buying groceries until we have that extra room, so really just like throwing anything that we had in the fridge together to try to make this Korean army stew. We had my husband's mom's kimchi that she makes herself, and it's like the best kimchi I've ever had in my life. Like, I've been to so many Korean restaurants. I've like tried kimchi from like my friends' parents, from my friend's house, from even I went to Korea and I had a lot of kimchi there, but like his mom's kimchi is like the best kimchi of my life. Like, I like to joke with him that I knew that he was like the one for me once I got a chance to try the kimchi. So there's that. What else did we add? We had like some beans, we had veggies, spam, noodles. It was just really good. So I'm pretty full. I don't know about you guys if you've had dinner yet, but I have. So that's what we ended up eating. Yeah. But I think I'm just happy to be back, ready to get the stream started so that we can hopefully create a really cool UI today. So just to like kind of give you guys a backstory, I guess, on where we ended up. We started our streaming for this project a couple weeks ago, and then we were able to create this like well, let me just move some things around here. There you go. So yeah, we were able to create a like a mind map, or like just a brain dumping kind of session in Figma, and we use FigJam actually to do this. Sorry, I feel like a little rusty just because like it's been a while. I'm gonna move my camera so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. Hopefully that works. Yeah, I don't know, you guys, I feel like super rusty streaming. Okay, so yeah, we created this like mind map, FigJam, kind of just brainstorming what we wanted to create, because when I came into here, I wasn't exactly sure like just what I wanted to make. And yeah, trying to figure that out now. So I think what we were doing was creating an app for the homebody, someone who just loves to be at home, likes to stay cozy. Maybe after they come home from work or school or whatever, they just want to kind of relax. They only have energy right now to do stuff at home. So we really started off by brainstorming like, what is a homebody wanting to do at night? Like, if they have energy, they would want to do some wellness things, so like exercising, doing their skincare. They'll have to eat something probably. If you're coming home from like work or school, you might want dinner. So cooking, maybe baking, I don't know, maybe having coffee. I feel like I could never be the type to have coffee so late at night. I had a friend back when I was in university and they would have a coffee after every dinner that we got together. And I'm just like, how? Not even like a decaf coffee, but like a legit coffee. So I don't know how they ended up doing that, but that's not something I can do. I have to finish my coffee before noon or else I'm just not going to be able to sleep. Okay, and then what else did we end up doing? We talked about screens. So like maybe they are looking at movies or they were watching TV shows. Maybe they... My windows are a mess today. Maybe they wanted to watch some anime or some K-dramas. I don't know if you guys watch the anime awards, the Crunchyroll anime awards. I never really watch award shows, so I just like know who the winners are, but I feel like I can't sit through a whole award show. I feel like that'd be pretty boring for me. What else did we do? We did reading, so they could read books, manga, fan fiction. Have you guys seen that kind of like, I guess it's like TikTok drama or not? Like, not really. I don't know if it's right to call it drama, but it's like this issue with people trying to resell fan fiction on AO3 or Archive of Our Own. And then authors are actually taking down their fan fictions so other people can't print them out, bind them, and then sell them to others, which, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of, like I can't imagine someone like going to a fan fiction and then wanting to print it out and sell it. I don't know, I totally understand it from the author's point of view. If it's like your own baby and then someone else is just like repackaging it from you, and that's kind of what they end up doing. So yeah, so there's that too. I can always do more reading. I also thought about interactive components. So let's say they want to do origami, painting. A homebody might want to do clay, which is actually something that I want to get into. I think for me, especially working in like a digital role where I'm spending so much time looking at a computer, and even outside of work, I spent a lot of time in front of a screen. I like to watch shows. I like to play video games. I read on the computer. So like a lot of it is really just a lot of screen time. And I think I'm really looking for hobbies where, oh yeah, even when I draw, I do digital art. So why everything has to be in front of a screen? So I'm thinking this year it would be great if I can like pick up clay or something, just so I'm not looking at a screen so much and I'm actually making something with my hands. Because while it is like really nice to do UI, I think being able to create something physically in the world is quite a special feeling. I think growing up, like, we didn't have too much, our family, so I was always kind of the kid that was like too scared to ask for things, and because of that I had a really hard time drawing or like wanting to do things like painting or stuff, because I knew that if I did it, like, where am I gonna store it? How come I have to buy like all this different art supplies and like replenish it as I keep using more and more? I think that's why I gravitated so much towards like digital things, because I'm not taking up that space. I'm not creating something that you can like physically hold and need to store and need to put somewhere. So there's that. I feel like something I can probably work on now that I am a bit older and I also have my own space right behind me. So there's that. Puzzles. Yeah, we mentioned gaming, board games. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch lately, and honestly, I have not been doing too much else, which is kind of a bad thing. I feel like I should get away from that. Anyways, as we created these like ideas for what we wanted our HomeBuddy app to be, we ended up creating a bunch of user stories so that we can start imagining what this user might actually be doing. And this first one is like a very basic user story that you might learn from like your first UX design course, your first human computer interaction course. As a user, I want to blink so that I can blink. Now, I think this works fine as I've like worked more and like gotten more experience. The way that I've written, sorry, my music's really loud for me and it's like making it hard to think. It's like, oh, I want to listen to the music, but I can't because I have to talk. So yeah, as I kept working and getting more experience in UX, we started to really flesh out what these user stories can actually look like as a blank user. So for here, you can kind of substitute it as like as an onboarding user, as a power user, things like that. Onboarding is just like someone who's looking at an app for the first time, and then a power user is someone that like knows every single in and out. They're basically like the app is second nature to them, who is trying to do some kind of action so that they can achieve some kind of goal, and then so that I can blank and I want to blank. So this is the actual thing that they want to do so that they can achieve their goal. So that's what we started creating. Just like a bunch of sticky notes, and that is actually helping us ideate on what this HomeBuddy app would need to do for our users. So like we need something where we can talk about like reading a book. Maybe we want to track the latest chapter. If you guys read the latest chapter of One Piece, I hate breaks. It always like right when it gets good, it's like, oh, we have to have a break. Like I understand Oda needs a break. I really like reading One Piece every single week when we can. Tracking your progress in a game. How many hours have you played? I wonder for you guys, like, what's the game that you spent the most number of hours on? For me, I think it's probably Overwatch. I definitely spent like 1,000, if not like thousands of hours playing it. And I think after that's probably like Fire Emblem. You can just grind forever if you wanted to. And then also things like how can you actually achieve that kind of peace for a HomeBuddy app? Like maybe we need something where you can turn your phone to silent, or you can turn off your email notifications. However, there is that issue of like, if we want to order food, can we turn off our email notifications for work while also getting statuses on our food that we ordered? How often do you guys order food? I try not to order too much because I think it gets to the point where like I use it as an excuse. So even if we have food, if it's not defrosted, if I don't feel like cooking and I've had like a long day at work or something, I get to a point where I kind of default to thinking I'm gonna order food. And it's not very good for your health, not very good for my wallet. So really, I try my best to order maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe a couple times a month, I guess. I think at worst it like gets pretty bad. I wouldn't say I like ordered too much in a day. I order like one like coffee or something in the morning because I was too lazy to make coffee, and then I probably order something for dinner. So at the absolute worst, and when I was really bad, my husband and I would order maybe 2 or 3 times in a day. That was super rare though, but like after we did that, we felt kind of bad, and it's like, oh, we should probably save our money. There's no reason we should be ordering that much food already. PUBG Mobile, probably 1,000 hours. I've never actually like gotten too into mobile games. I don't know, it's like, it's hard for me to look at my phone, but like I've always had like a very old phone for the time being. Like I change out, this is my phone now, the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I usually switch out my phone every 4 to 5 years. So I usually end up like not wanting to look at my phone for a very long time, especially with I'm having to look at the computer, or if I'm doing something on my iPad, it's just like another screen for me. I do read webtoons on my phone though, but that's usually like what, 5 minutes per chapter per day or something like that, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I think the longest we went, like my husband and I, when it came to order food, where we just didn't order, was probably like 3 or 4 months without ordering, and I felt pretty good about that. I think it's like you gotta get out of that habit of like finding an excuse for yourself to order food. Like just having a little bit of meal prep, planning a little ahead can actually get you quite far when trying to save some money. Okay, after that, we talked a little bit about creating an iPad docking app. I think that was the first idea that we ended up creating. So like, what was the idea? I guess like, if I have my iPad here, I can show you guys. So like on this screen, we would have just like a bunch of different panels, and then each panel would have something related to what a HomeBuddy is looking for in a day. So like they wouldn't actually have to open up their iPad to do anything else, but like this panel here would be like, oh, this is tracking like notifications. Maybe these are like the different people that you're talking to in your games. This is your reading goal. This is your food tracker, and kind of things like that. And while I like the idea, it's just that I had just created kind of like a bento app previously. Like in this one, where we created Nonami, the stock photo website, it is quite bento-y kind of layout. So I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do another bento website. Yeah, and I was creating like a calm bedroom vibe for this iPad background, but I kind of wanted to like move away from that, and that's why I thought, okay, let's do a story of some kind of user. We named them Jake, and then illustrating what Jake does when he gets home from work, putting down his keys, ordering food, changing, getting on the couch to play games, and all that other stuff, maybe like working out or something afterwards. And then the idea for an iPad app came after, or for an Apple Watch app came after, so that we can create a bunch of different like little screens for an Apple Watch interface. And then that would tell the story of this home buddy, and each screen would be a specific step in this kind of user flow. Okay, so going into Figma now, we've borrowed a lot of stuff that we had from our ideation phase, our brainstorming phase, and also took like the little home buddy app that we ended up thinking of. So now I have all these different like Apple Watch UIs, and I'm just trying to figure out how I wanted to lay everything out. And I was thinking of going for like quite a moody, muted color. I don't know about that though. I've never been someone who's like very into like neutrals, earthy tones and stuff like that, if it's not obvious from the way that everything around me looks. I've definitely been more of like really bright colors, high contrast, just like stuff like that. And I think it just really depends on like what kind of vibe that you wanted to go for. I think it's very soothing and very calming, but I need that like color to make me feel creative. If I was too calm, it's like, I'm not creating anything, I'm just gonna take a nap. So I love color, and particularly things like pinks, blues, anything that's very like Sailor Moony, I would have to say. Like, I think Sailor Moon is probably like the aesthetic that I go for. Yeah, like, you know, just pink, girly, pretty, cute, like that kind of stuff is like really the kind of like color aesthetic and palette that I am the most drawn to. Oh, and did I ever tell you guys my career development chat that I've been having with my manager? So I've been getting asked like, what do you want to do with your career 5 years into the future? And to be honest, I really don't know. Like, it's hard for me to answer something like that because I feel like there's so much uncertainty in the world that I don't know what is even going to happen to the world in 5 years. And I think that's something that a lot of us can relate to, especially given like how the last 5 years have been. It's just like, you honestly never know. So when my manager asked that, like, I really didn't have that good of an answer. I think, I guess like in my mind, it being a career chat, I probably should have said something like, I want to be a senior staff designer, I want to be a principal designer, or I want to go down a management route and become a people manager or a like UX design manager or something like that. And I don't know. Honestly, it's hard for me to imagine where I would go. I don't know if you guys have an idea of like, where do you see your career in 10 years, in 5 years? Like, can you imagine? I feel like it's so hard to say, just given how the world is now, that I honestly have no idea. I think there are parts that like, oh, hey Naveen, I'm doing good. How are you? I haven't seen you in like a week and a half since I've streamed, so it's really nice to be able to see you again. Yeah, so there's parts of like being an IC or like an individual contributor or independent contributor, whatever, and that I really enjoy. So like, I love being able to get into the problem. I love talking to clients. I love like the leading and like strategizing of a product so that we can create something really cool. I love like the buildingness of the product. I also like the part of like mentoring other designers. So in my role now and in the product that I'm working on, I'm the senior most designer working on the product, and I have a intermediate designer that I also work very closely with. So what's sus? So because of that, like I genuinely really like to do mentorship, and I like working with other designers, and I like trying to get to a problem that maybe neither of us were able to get with like by ourselves. I think that's a really fulfilling part of the project. However, there's always like, there is something about the people management side that is like kind of appealing to me in a way. Like I think if I wanted to focus strictly on mentoring and like managing as a UX designer, then maybe being a UX design manager is the right way for me to go. Like maybe this is something I'm interested in. I've also never like been a UX design manager, so am I really giving it a fair like chance if I automatically say I don't want to do this? I don't know. So I guess that's kind of like stuff that I'm thinking about. But on either side, like if I choose an IC route, am I going to kind of like hit the ceiling when it comes to job titles, responsibility, ownership, and salary if I stay as an IC? And then if I go into people management, am I going to lose all of my design skills? And am I going to not be able to create UI design, which is something that I love doing? Am I going to have to be in a bunch of meetings all day and like have headaches and have to do a lot of negotiating? So I think, I don't know, there's like a lot to think about for me when it comes to either side. I definitely think like right now is the time for me to think about what I want from my career. And I just wonder like what I can do to actually make me feel like I'm getting closer to an answer. Because I think at this moment, when I talk to my manager about these kind of things, I am kind of like stalling. Like I'm not really giving a concrete answer. And for a while now, I've been like, oh, I don't know, I kind of just want to improve my skills in my current role. But like, how much longer can I say that? Like, how much longer is that going to be acceptable? I don't know. Maybe it was time for me to actually think about this, like for real, and think about what I want to do with my future. Is it being an independent contributor, staying as an IC? Do I want to go into people management? I don't think you can do both, to be honest. Like, I think you have to choose which way to go. Or I don't know, maybe the bigger question is like, do I want to stay doing UX design? What if one day I decide to go back to development? I doubt that though. Yeah, I need to choose one. I really, but like, how do you choose? Like what? I feel like I've been saying I need to choose, but it's like, I'm not doing anything right now. I'm not doing anything actively to help me make my decision, if that makes sense. Like, what do you do in that point? Like, if I keep working as I am now, I guess I'll stay in that IC route, and then I'll eventually end up like a staff UX designer, principal UX designer, maybe one day. But like, when do you take that pivot into people management? Does that mean I have to be a junior UX design manager? Does that affect your salary? I don't know. Both will F you off. It will be stressful. Yeah, I don't think so. I never understand like the two roles in one. So like when I was first going from software developer to UX designer, I was thinking of like taking this in between role where I would be doing both software development, mostly front end, and also doing UX design. And it would be a role called UX developer. So that would be basically you do the wireframing and prototyping and high fidelity designs, but you also become the person that like builds out the components in the front end and does that kind of development work. And I remember I was talking to a manager about this. It's like, and I just bluntly I bluntly asked him, and I said, is it possible for someone to be both successfully? And honestly, he couldn't help but like kind of like, no, I've never seen it happen. And like I have to agree with him because they're really both big important roles, and I don't think they should ever be put together. Like I think it takes a very special person in order to be able to do both software development and building out the thing that you designed, right? Because like there's biases that come from both. If you were designing something and you had to develop it, then when you're designing, you're gonna start thinking about like, how am I going to implement this? And you might cut back on your design and like try to cut corners or make the design a little bit easier to implement, because you know that you're the one that has to think about solving that problem and like implementing it. But then if you were a developer and then you are also the designer, you're also thinking like, oh, I know I'm gonna be the one who has to make this, so let's try to like make it a little easier. Let's try to reuse as many components as possible. So it's tough, right? That's the choices you make. What makes you happy? What challenges are you willing to go up against? I think that's a really good point. Like, I think there are challenges in both, but like at the end of the day, like I always think that no matter what road you end up choosing, at the end of the day, if you can look at yourself in the mirror and just think like, I did the best I could, I'm proud of the work that I did today, I feel like I genuinely like helped people and I like lived to my values, then I think that's like when you know you're in the right place. The role divisions are too much. It's like there are almost 10 to 15 roles in just UX design, absolutely. Due to which even the payouts are also reduced. It's ridiculous. I do not envy any juniors who are looking for jobs right now. The idea that you have to like know graphic design, know UX research, UI design, it's just insane. And I think that's the issue with a lot of like these design jobs, especially if it's more UX immature companies who are hiring. They don't understand what UX design actually is, and they just use design as this whole umbrella term to handle everything artistic and creative. So if you join one of these companies, then as a junior, you're most likely going to be handling like graphic design. You're going to be doing social media campaigns and marketing. You're going to be doing like the UI design and developing features and UI kits, whatever. You might even help out with like sales decks and presentations, marketing brochures, whatever. And like, if you're a junior, it's so competitive these days that I'm not gonna blame you if you still take on a job like this, because it is a way for you to get yourself in the door. But if you have so many of these responsibilities under your, like on your plate as a designer, if you're expected to create all of those deliverables, the first thing that's going to go is UX research. Like, you're just not going to have time to do it, and you're going to end up being just like a visual design person and not have any of those like UX skills. Then afterwards, if you're looking for a UX design job, then what can you actually put on your resume? Like, what can you put on your portfolio? What is your case study going to look like if all you've done is like changing colors on a website and moving a button left 20 pixels or whatever like that? So to me, it's just like, it really sucks for juniors that these are the kind of jobs that are available, and like having to do that and then also being worried about leaving for something better because you don't know if you're actually qualified. Like, it's just not a good position to be in. And I think designers are very often taken advantage of because people know how competitive it is and like how many people actually want to do it. I need to keep up with chat. If the choice you don't take don't work as you imagined, what will you do? I guess you have to go back, right? Like, if what you think you wanted doesn't end up working out, then I think you just have to see if you can go back into the other choice. I don't know. I'm definitely like one of those people that like, if I have a fork in the road, I'll just choose one direction. I think it's good to like just choose one direction, because if you're in a fork in the road, like the perspective that you see is just like this one static thing. But if you choose a direction and you start walking, then you'll learn more. Like, your perspective is going to change. You're going to get more information. And then maybe you find out that this is what you actually want to do and you can keep walking. But if you don't, then like, at least you know, right? And then maybe you just go back the other way. I think starting as an IC, if you want to go into project people management, then that's okay. Like, maybe give it like a couple years to really see if it's something that you enjoy doing. But then if not, I think it kind of sucks, but like I actually think that you have to do your own like UI projects or UX design projects on the side so that you can keep up with those skills, so that if you ever do decide that one day I want to go back into being an IC, I still have those skills and I'm not as rusty. But or you can just be like, I like people management. I had an old manager who kind of did that. They started off as a graphic designer, turned into a UX designer, and then they became a UX manager. And that's how like I met them. They were my UX manager. And I've been thinking about this a while because like I actually asked him this question, like, how did you know you want to go into people management versus staying as IC? And he just genuinely like, he likes working with people. He likes mentoring junior designers, intermediate designers like I was. And that's what really fulfilled him. However, he also told me that he worked part-time still as like his own side business, doing graphic design and doing like consultancy as an IC. So yeah. But I think that's like the thing with like design or development jobs. You do have this expectation where you have to do your job outside of your job because that proves to other people that you love what you do. And I think it's crappy. I think it's BS. Like what kind of job other than like development or design do you have to do outside of it just to prove that like you're keeping up with skills or you're whatever? It's like, do doctors have to like do operations or surgeries outside of their jobs to show that they're passionate about what they do? Like, no, of course not. But I think there is that expectation with design and development that you do. And you know, I'm not really that good of a person to say you shouldn't do something like this. I mean, just look at what I'm doing tonight. I mean, let's be real. And if more people are present, it will also be difficult to develop and design stuff. Yeah, it will. Juniors are done. It's like they need to be in every place and work going on in the company. Yeah. I think there's like a benefit to juniors. Okay. So how do I say this? When I started off graduating from computer science, I worked at a startup and there were 5 people in the company. And I did have to wear a lot of different hats. Like I touched on development. I was interested in design. So I also helped out with like wireframes, logos, whatever. And because I was like the only girl in the company too, I also had to go to like job fairs and stuff to pitch the company and whatever. And it is like a lot of different hats. But I think because I had all those opportunities, I was actually able to find out that like design was what I wanted to do. So like I feel like I personally benefited from a startup company and was able to learn a lot and like kind of figure out myself because of that. But I totally see what you mean. Like there's a difference between like having this opportunities where you can explore other interests and find something else you might want to do more and like transition your career that way versus getting handed all the stuff as your responsibility and expected to do it, right? I think there's a difference there. But I also don't want to be like, you shouldn't try to be a UX designer now if this is something that you're genuinely interested. There's always going to be people. There's always going to be competition. If you think that this is something that is genuinely going to make you happy in your life, I think you owe it to yourself to try it, right? Like, I'm not going to say all juniors are cooked. Like, there's no junior roles. Don't even bother trying. Because like, who would I be to say that, right? Like, I'm just one person. I can't tell you that your future is doomed if you try to do something that actually makes you happy. Like, I think you genuinely should, like, if you think UX design is going to make you happy, fulfilled, and it's what you want to do with your life, I think you genuinely need to give yourself that chance to see if it is actually what you think it's going to be. And it doesn't matter like how many YouTube videos you watch, how many day in life of a UX designer videos you watch. It's like you have to experience it yourself. So yeah. But whatever choice you make, I wish it turns out to be the best for you. Thank you. I wish that for all of you guys. Whatever choice you make, whether it is going into UX design, whether it's not, whether it's software development, I just want you guys to succeed. I'm a support player, okay? I heal people. I make sure you guys are positioned well. I hope you guys get like 4 to 5 man team kills, whatever. You know, I just want you guys to have a good time. I got selected for a junior role where in job info they had just written I should do design, prototype, do research. Once I got selected, I asked them again what are my responsibilities, and they said I need to create social media posts, banners, help developers, etc. When I told them I cannot do all these things, they just told me that they can't provide me a job. That's insane. That's so, at least they told you though. Like, it would be even worse if you had to like change your life and you went through like multiple rounds of interviews and they didn't tell you that until after. Like, I think, have you guys seen those horror stories on TikTok where people are like, I joined a company and I moved and relocated, and then 3 months later they fired me? Like, can you imagine how awful that must be to like change your entire life for a job and they just like kick you to the curb? Like, that's awful. I think like it's not good, and I think it's good that you clarified it. But yeah, it's, I don't know, sometimes like you gotta know where you stand for your boundaries. That honestly reminds me of my first almost job when I was just done university and I was like looking for my first software development job. I didn't do any internships, so I had no experience, and I was looking for my first job. I was also like, I need to start paying back my student loans, so I was like desperately applying and everything. And this one job, I got to the very end of the interview process. I think I've told you guys kind of like the story over in a YouTube video or something, but it was for this company, and I got to the final round and I got an offer and everything, but it just didn't feel right. Like, the things that they expected from me, and like I think I was getting offered like minimum wage. How much was it? I want to say like so this is like an entry-level position. I think it was like website developer or something. It was creating a bunch of WordPress websites, like that kind of job. And it was in person, in office. It was across the city from where I live, so I needed a car, and I also needed to drive on like the busiest highway that we had in the city during like rush hour, and I had to get in there for like 8:30 or 9 every morning. You know, just like business casual, like actual like work stuff. What else was it about that job? It was just weird. What was the salary they offered? I think it was like $32,000 a year Canadian. So this is right out of university. The offer I got was like maybe 35,000, 32 or 35,000, somewhere around there. So anyways, yeah, like all together, that's basically minimum wage, isn't it? I don't know. But in Canada, yeah, 32 to 36,000. And like, it was a job. I didn't have any other offers at that moment, but like, I talked to my dad about this, and he gave me this whole like horse analogy, basically, of like, if you stay within like one area and you have like one horse in your farm or whatever, then of course you think it's like the most beautiful horse in the world. But if you actually like lose the horse, like one day the horse runs away, you go look for it, and then you're like, and you see all these other beautiful horses, and you're like, oh, you know, that horse wasn't that special or something. I think it's just like an analogy of being like, if you don't keep looking for something, you don't know like what else might be out there, and maybe something better is out there for you, but like you have to give yourself that chance to actually go out and look. So anyways, I ended up declining that role, and I actually got an email from like the people that I was talking to, and they were like, tell us why you wanted to decline our offer. And I got like really scared because I was like, what? I've never been in a situation like this. Like, why do I have to say anything? But anyways, yeah, I ended up declining, and I got like my actual job, which was like an actual software developer at an actual startup company. I got to work with like the PhD and master students that went to my university, basically my TAs, meaning I got like the best education after school that I absolutely could have possibly gotten. And it was just like the best decision I was ever able to make. But if I had said yes to that other job, then it would have been really crap. So, and I would have gotten like no pay, so it would suck. Sometimes you make the right decision, sometimes you make the decision right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think I need to add anything there. I think this problem is only in tech. Yep. I don't have Pink Mercy. I think that's like the one regret I have about Overwatch. Maybe how much I play it, but also that I don't have the Pink Mercy skin. Yes, it's all a scam. They just lie a lot. it's business. Like, I'm not excusing it. I don't think they're doing anything right, but like, yeah, I remember that YouTube video. Scary. They move places and buy cars and stuff only to lay off later. It is really scary, isn't it? Like, you change your whole. Okay, I actually haven't told you guys this story, but what was it? Okay, so about to graduate university, no internships, no interviews, not going anywhere. How did I even graduate? Would I hire me? I don't know. But I was kind of like at that point, and then I had a friend who had gotten a job, and they gotten a job in Saskatchewan, and that they were trying to like see if I wanted to also join them in that job, and they like kept on like trying to like hype it up and stuff. So it was like a job in Saskatchewan. It was going to be like, they're trying to make Saskatchewan like the tech hub, a tech hub of Canada back then. You would work at this company, and they would provide you with like, it's not like they would provide you with housing, but like you would live with your coworkers in like a building complex. So you guys would all like kind of live together, basically like a residence kind of thing, like in university. And he was trying to convince me that I should join that job with him. But it just felt kind of like, I knew I was not, like when I graduated university, I was not emotionally mature enough to like pick up my whole life and like leave it, because my family is here, all my friends are here, my husband, boyfriend, like he's here too. Like, I really had to ask myself, like, was I really that desperate to pack up my entire life and then try to go work at another company and like have them be in control of all the people that I surround myself with and also my living situation? Did I genuinely put in the effort to try and find a job so that I can stay in my city? So yeah, anyways, it just felt kind of sus to me, to be honest. Like, I think that's in my opinion, of course, like my opinion, allegedly, don't come for me, all that stuff. I don't think it's healthy for you to have your entire environment and network set up, surrounded by your work, right? Because like, you would move to the city, be away from your friends and family to work at a company, and then you would also be living with your coworkers. And if you live with your coworkers, like your food, shelter, living expenses, all that is like tied to the company. Plus, living with your coworkers, I mean, it wasn't like the same apartment, but like the same building, if that makes sense. Like, if you run into them, like, what do you guys have in common? Work, right? So then you're just kind of like really messing and blurring that line between work and life. And it's just, I don't know, for me, like, I don't think I would have been able to handle that mentally. I think my friend actually went to work for that company. I don't know what happened to them now. I hope they're doing well. But I know, like, for me, I don't think it was going to be the right decision. I'm happy that I actually like tried my best to interview and get a job so that I can stay here and like have my support network with me. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. I have a lot of these stories that I just haven't had the time to share with on YouTube because like it just hasn't come up yet. But I like, once I started working, I interviewed a lot, I networked a lot, and like I have all of these experiences of like things because I guess I'm just someone who like is open to like learning something new or like open to like new opportunities. So yeah. 32 Canadian. How would you be able to live off that salary in Canada? You won't be able to. Like, I'm pretty sure that's minimum wage, right? And it wasn't just like all the stuff that I listed before, but it was also like the work that I had to do. And because you were going to be like the only IT person, they call it IT, okay? And like developer person, like you're also going to be the one who's like, oh, I have to fix the Wi-Fi for the company, fix the coffee machine, the copy machine, the printer, teach someone how to use Excel, like all that stuff. And it's like, if I worked here, yes, I would have a job. I would kind of have money, but like, is this worth it mentally? Is this worth all the stress? Am I actually going to be working in a role that's going to help propel me into the future? Is a title of website developer going to help me move into other roles in the future that I actually want? Like, I really had to ask myself that. And it was like, no, it's not. Because you know what? I was in that interview and I got to meet the person who was leaving the role, like the person that I was going to be replacing. And they were a graduate student. They graduated from the same university I did. And they looked at my resume, and then they also mentioned like, oh, did you do like a Raspberry Pi course? I'm like, I did, but why does it matter for a web developer position? Like, when am I going to use a Raspberry Pi for this? It's just like things, like the math wasn't mathing at that point. Like, why are you asking me these questions? How am I going to learn anything? It was just weird. Oh yeah, and then again, allegedly, whatever. When I got my offer of 30 something K, and I said no, part of the email that they sent back about like, why did you say no? They also said something along the lines of, and this is just like how I remember it, allegedly, don't come for me, all that stuff. There was a line there that I allegedly saw that said, oh, well, we're offering you 32K, but we actually paid so-and-so 30K, so you're actually getting more than them. And then I showed my family the offer, because like, what else am I gonna do? And they were like, this is such a red flag. They should not be telling you that. There's no reason for you to know that. And it was crazy to me that they were so comfortable saying that, and they paid him less than they paid me or were gonna pay me. So I don't know. Anyways, stuff happens. Frog in the well. Yeah, frog in the well. Okay, let's take a break from all this career past talk. Kind of want to change my song. If you guys have any recommendations for music, I am super okay with that. Also, let me know if you can hear music. I struggle so hard with the streaming stuff. Like, maybe I'm not meant for computers. Okay. Yeah, but Raspberry Pi is actually fun to work on. It was. No, I took a course in university and I got to use a Raspberry Pi. It's fine. It's just that, like, what does it have anything to do with creating websites? And I think they were using like WordPress or something. Like, why would you need a Raspberry Pi for WordPress? Okay, you guys, let's get back to the UI. What are we here for our UI? Also, thank you guys for joining me on this Saturday evening. No, I was talking to my parents. Did I tell you guys already? I can't remember, but I was talking to my parents and like, oh, you guys should go out, you and your husband, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, we're such computer people. It's like, I just want to stay at home. Like, I kind of just want to do my own thing at home. I have a home for a reason. I'll have my house exactly how I like it. Just let me stay home, you know? And besides, when I lived with them, they used to complain about how much I went out anyways. And it wasn't like I was going out to like go clubbing or anything. I was going out so I could go networking and all that stuff. Maybe something like this. I like the color. Like, it reminds me of the other design that I've done. Like this one. I think it's just like some screens are dark, some screens are light. I think we can try something like this. Also, eventually, I am definitely going to figure out how to turn on alerts and stuff. I don't know, I feel like, you know, the stream is working fine. Like, if it works fine, it ain't broke, all that stuff, but we'll get there eventually. Hi, it's great to see you. Hi, D3 Web. Cool. Music rep, Maury, no, it's restaurant. Let me look this up. I hope this is right. I can't read it at all. How am I gonna do this? Okay. Okay, so what I want to do, because I don't want to create a bunch of screens and then end up not actually using it, is, you know, I think I need some calming music. Thank you. after talking about like old work things, it's like, oh, I'm getting heated. I'm not actually getting heated, but it's like, you know, I think 15 is usually the angle that I choose. How do you guys feel about like the rotated things? Like the rotated UI designs? Let's see. Okay, I need to focus back on this. I'll do 32. So I usually stick with an 8-point grid because I feel like it just makes sense. And then, oops, get rid of this for now. I don't want to create too many screens, but I also don't want them to be too spaced apart because I think then it will look kind of weird. I've actually been on Figma a lot today because I was creating a planner for myself. I like planning digitally, but I kind of want to like spice it up a little bit. So I've tried to create things on Figma so that I can add them as like stickers or as layouts or templates to my planner and then just use it that way. I like this, but do I actually want to do something like this, or I'm just happy looking at it? Okay, let's look at this. So it looks like I'm kind of creating a lot of whites and blues. I think that's why I wanted something else. I really want to use yellow. I feel like it's so hard to make like a nice yellow design. I don't think I'm gonna rotate it yet. I might at the end. It's just that I need to see everything. Like, I just need to figure out the spacing between the elements first before I actually angle it, if that makes sense. Okay, let's try this color. I really want something nice and bright. I need. Okay, and then a song. Okay. Okay, you know what? I have to check. Like, what is minimum wage in Canada? We'll check my province. So minimum wage in Alberta is $15 an hour. What is that as a yearly? Does it tell you? Okay, so $15 minimum wage is like $25,000 a year. So I was making, if I accepted that job, I would be making about like 7K more than minimum wage a year. I don't know, that doesn't feel good. I think that's honestly like an issue too when it comes to people who are like trying to get into tech or trying to get into design. At least like something from what I remember when I first started working, we had hired a new developer, a junior, and I think when they got their first paycheck, they said something along the lines of, "Well, I can't believe this role is more than minimum wage," or something like that. But they were just really shocked that, like, even their parents were shocked, like, "Oh, I thought your job would be like minimum wage or something," and they would have been happy with it. It's like, no. How far away should we do this? Is 80 too far? Let's try 80. So the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to create all these screens that I don't end up using. So let's do one more. And then if this is 80, this should also be 80. I want to do this, but I also don't want it to be like super how do I call it? Like, it looks too much like tiles or bricks. Something about this is giving me Mario. It kind of makes me think of the coins that you get. Take all of this, group it, let's rotate it by 15. How's this? The average pay for UX designers is 65 to 70K. Is that in what country? Because sometimes like I hear, like I do super peer like calls, right? And then some of you guys are from the US, and when I hear you guys are like, oh, I got a job for like 90K or something, and like 90K to you guys is US is like 110 or something to me in Canadian, and like 110 is pretty good. I think it would be great to like have an American salary while living in Canada. Yeah, do I want something bigger? Because then like the bigger I make it, the less screens I actually have to make. Maybe even something like this. No, that's not like a, no. In Canada, 65 to 70, I guess. Average pay for UX designer, like across all roles, is 65 to 70K. I feel like whenever you see these kind of things, you have to take it with a grain of salt, because it's like, first country, but if you narrow down the country, it's like, are you saying for all roles that are UX design, like junior or intern UX design, all the way to like directors or staff? And then you also have to think about like, is it UX design, or are you also including UX product design? What about UX developers? What about web designers, graphic designer, visual designer, UX content writers? Like just the whole umbrella of design. Like that's why I don't focus too much on a job title. I focus more on like the responsibilities of the job, because it doesn't matter like what your job calls you. It matters what responsibilities you have. You can be called and have the title UX designer, but if what you're doing day to day is marketing, pushing pixels, creating social media posts, then you're not actually doing UX work. You're doing design work that's not going to help you build your portfolio, write case studies, and get you into higher level, more experienced, more focused and niche UX design positions. So like, I think like you should always take these kind of things with a grain of salt. Cause like, just to be totally honest with you guys, 65 to 70K, that's like starting salary in my experience. Like my first role, like, I have to sit more comfortably. Like it's like entry level, at least for me when I was doing it. Like I don't know what it is now. Hopefully you guys are getting paid more when you start. But like for me back in the day, entry level UX design, that was kind of what I was making. Okay, let's try to make these bigger, because I don't want to make like 12 different screens. Oh, I kind of like this now. Let's fix this up. How about this? Anyways, I was asking, right, to continue on with that whole career conversation, I was asked, what kind of role do you think looks cool? So like, what kind of job out there do you think is like, oh, this looks like something that I want to try? And I think for me, something that I realized recently is like, you know, those people that like live stream themselves opening up Pokemon booster packs, or like Yu-Gi-Oh or One Piece trading card booster packs, and like they live stream it, they open in front of you and all that stuff. I think that's my dream job. Like, screw design, I'm just kidding. But like, if I had to have a job, I think that would be it. I think that's what I would want to do. Opening up trading card packs. And like, there's just something so like fun about it and like so exciting. So like, I guess if for you guys, like, what would your absolute dream job, don't have to worry about money, like what would you want to do? I think this is enough screens. Sleep. No, you have to pick something like something to do actively. Can't you sleep? You can even say like, I would like to watch and review like TV shows or something. You can say that, but like you have to actually choose something legit. Okay, no wonder this was kind of weird. It's like, something like this, you know, just like to stagger them all out. I wonder if I want to kind of push these closer together. Can I do that? Take all of these. 69. Let's try 72. And I think like, if I wanted to be a Pokemon card booster pack live streamer, like, why is that so exciting? I think it's like the whole new like shiny card, the RNG of it, like the action of actually like ripping open a booster pack, seeing all the different art. I think that's like one thing that really drew me to it. It's like all the different art on the booster pack cards and like the alternate arts, like the shinies. That's really cool to me. So I think I want to see that. But like, I just genuinely feel like there's something so satisfying even just watching someone do that. Like, of course, ideally I want to be the one opening the cards, but like, I've been watching people open up the packs and like, it's just fun. So like, I don't know, maybe that's like something that I value in my work. How's this, you guys? I think this looks pretty good. Now, I've never actually made an Apple Watch UI, so I kind of need to figure out what to do here. And we were going for like a cozier kind of look, but I don't know, there's something about like neutral colors I'm just not like too big of a fan of. I want something brighter, higher contrast. Should we choose a font instead first? This could take forever, just like, it's always like starting off when you're trying to figure out like the style of your app, that it always just takes a little bit of time so that you can find out what this is going to look like, and then the image in your head is going to get clearer and you're gonna find what you want. It would be nice to use like a Georgia. Wait, what's the font? It started with a G. I still really like it because it's like really like, I like the thicker kind of fonts. Oh, actually Gotham was really popular. When I was working in consulting, everybody used Gotham. I don't hate Gotham. Oh, Gravitas. Yeah, I really like this font for some reason. I used it a lot, even when I was doing my like portfolio. Can I show you guys this? Yeah, remember when I was showing you guys my portfolio and like my very first iteration of my portfolio? It's like when I over designed it, I like, look at this font back in 2021. This is crazy. Honestly, I still kind of like it color wise and everything. It's very feminine, I would say, but it's not like it, like as soon as I started adding some of my like case study images on there, I was like, no, this is not gonna work. I over designed this, over complicated it, and it was just like too styled that it wouldn't be like the backbone of my case studies and wouldn't let my case studies actually shine. So like I had to kind of tone this down a little, but I think this is like, I don't know, it's also kind of dated, to be honest, isn't it? Like it's very 2010s, 2000s. Where can I view your portfolio? My portfolio is up online. You guys can find it if you just like know my name. Okay. Yeah, so what does an Apple UI actually look like? Do you guys have an Apple Watch? I do not. I don't understand what the point of an Apple Watch is, at least for me. Like, I try to ignore all of my calls. And I have my phone with me all the time anyway, so it's like, why do I need an Apple Watch? It's not like I run anywhere. Okay, so it actually looks like there's not really like any home button in the interface, probably because like you have actual buttons on the actual thing. So okay, that is fine. Also looks like you have like max like 4 rows, I would say, of like content you can actually build off of. Well, you know, I guess if it has to be an Apple Watch theme, maybe I need to use San Francisco. I don't think I have San Francisco. So we might have to use Helvetica. Helvetica. No Apple Watch, Fitbit all the way. Yeah, but like if you use a Fitbit, you have to actually be fit, right? Like I don't really work out like outside or like go for a run or anything. So I don't feel like something that I need. Plus, I think I would be one of the people who like constantly monitors my heart rate. Like if I'm in a call or if I'm doing a presentation, I'd probably be like, seems like a spike, and guess it's like my internal clock telling me that I know a presentation is gonna happen. Speaking of presentations, I have a really big one at the end of March that I'm kind of nervous for, but also putting off. Livello? I don't have Livello either. I don't know where you're getting these fonts, but I have to write them down so that I don't forget. I'll make sure I'll have them next time we do another one of these. Yeah, I have a presentation at the end of the month talking about the project that I've been on. So you guys know I had started a new job in September of 2023, and I've been at the company until now. So how long has it been? Like 6 months or so? Yeah, and in the 6 months, we finished off a project that we were working with in like a partner for a client and something. But because it's just like our project and everything, other directors, other people, like other products outside of our product don't really know what we've been working on. Plus, like the product that I'm working on is like something that the company acquired a few years ago. So we're like kind of the newest acquisition, which makes it like not most people work on like the other products in the company I work for. So this whole presentation is going to be talking about like, you know, what was the context for the product? Why did we need it? What was this project about? What kind of design things that we end up doing, and like where are our next steps? And even though I didn't start the project because this project started in June before I joined the company. However, I started working on it and then I'm like the one finishing it. meaning I have to do the presentation, like kind of talk to that to all of our like our C levels and our stakeholders. And honestly, that's kind of terrifying for me. So I'm procrastinating it by not really like thinking or about it, but like it is in the back of my mind. And I know as the date approaches, I'm going to just keep getting more and more nervous to do it. So that's what I'm going to be working on this month. But you know, I am actually pretty decent at presentations and like creating a story using a presentation and blah, 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 blah. So I know it's going to be okay because I've done stuff like this before and it always ends up okay. Like it wouldn't be me if it was not great. I'm just kidding. It wouldn't be like, I know I'm the kind of person who like put a lot of effort into this. So like I'm okay with it, but I am planning on doing a vlog for YouTube this month, so I can kind of like walk you guys through how I create these like processes of like presentations, how I anticipate questions and all that other stuff. Because like the one thing that I'm really nervous about for this presentation is like all of those decisions that were made before I joined the project. Like if I get asked questions about them, how am I going to defend those choices that I didn't necessarily make? And that's just what I'm gonna have to. So I need to really figure that out. I think that's also part of like the UX design job that you're not prepared for if you're like new and going into it new. Like, how do I design decisions or back up design decisions that I didn't make? Especially most, like 90% of the time, they're not going to be documented. Sometimes like the person who made those decisions doesn't even work there anymore. So you can't even ask like the source about it. Like, I feel like people think design is super easy, but it's like stuff like that, and also understanding why some things were built a certain way, like all that lore that goes on for a product, like understanding and knowing that, like that's really hard. So yeah, I own Apple stock. I just use it for a step counter. You know, Rumble Puppy, I feel like, do you have a puppy first of all? I feel like that's actually a really good idea, because like we walk our dog 3 times a day. Every day. It doesn't matter if it's like snowing and super cold, like it can get down to like -40 here sometimes, and like he still needs to go outside to pee. So maybe I should do a step counter. I think it'll be interesting. I also have a walking pad that I should really break out sometime again. It's like right next to me over here. But maybe a Fitbit would be interesting. Do I invest? A little. I feel like I can be a lot smarter with my money, but I don't know. Am I financially literate? I'd give myself like a C. You know, like I'm okay. I wouldn't say I'm like, I don't know everything, but like I have an advisor that I ask questions to. Her investments are the manga behind her. No, they're not. It's the figures behind me. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I don't know if I would ever sell my collection. Like it's been with me for so long. I can't imagine parting it. Also, maybe that's why like I'm starting to collect Pokemon cards now, or that's why I'm talking about Pokemon cards, because I need to like make an investment in that case. Speaking of my dog though, because it gets so cold, like he still needs to walk outside and do his business because he's a Shiba. He doesn't like doing his business in the house or even where he can see the house. You know, like we have to turn the corner or else he's not gonna pee, he's not gonna do his number 2 or whatever. But because it gets so cold, like we've noticed that previous years his like little feet would get cold and he would be like this, like he would lift up his foot because like it was just cold. So we tried booties first, of course, but he hates them. Like he hates clothes. He hates clothes. So he had like a really sad face whenever we put his booties on. He was so handsome though. He looks fantastic in red, kind of like Paw Patrol, but he hates them. So what we got recently were these like wax thingies that you can put on your dog's like toes and stuff. We were talking about this to neighbors earlier, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of like a wax, like kind of Vaseline-y, textured-y kind of thing. And it's supposed to protect their feet from the cold without having booties on. And if they lick it, like it's okay, like it's not non-toxic and everything. So far, seems okay. Like he doesn't hate it. as much as the booties, but I think like he's just really like, he's very all natural. Like he doesn't like anything else. So yeah, I think for us, like it's working. Some city dolls can't even pee right. What does that mean? Yeah, a pretty solid collection. Thank you. I really like my collection. Like, not gonna lie, I think it looks nice. I don't try to get every single figure or like every single character. I only have my favorites. But like I think that kind of like, I don't know, it just makes sense to me. Every time, like before I buy a figure, I always make sure like, is this like something that I actually want? Because these things are like getting really expensive. And then, is it something I want? Is it a character that I genuinely enjoy? Do I like their pose and clothing and like the detail and the design? And also like, do I have a place where I want to put it? Like I think about these kind of 4 criteria before I pre-order or order any figure. So it's quite like limited, I guess. Maybe if I like had more room in here, I'm actually kind of out of room for like how I want to style things, I would get more, but I don't really see that happening. Yeah, okay, so where are we? Let's grab the user stories. I'm actually pretty excited because like I know for this one we're gonna end up having to use a map and stuff. So we'll move this over. Don't think we're doing this, at least for now. Maybe we'll come back to it. I'm also thinking, like, you guys, something that I've been trying to do lately is practice more on like creating on Blender, or you know, like vector illustration, 3D illustration, eventually animation. I was wondering if you guys would be interested in watching that. Again, just like one of those things that I plan on doing anyway, so I thought, oh, we might as well spend it on stream, and then we can talk about these like other back in the day kind of stories that I had. Okay, so I think, oh, right, I wanted something like a different color, right? Can I do that? Let me check something. I would like another color behind and like just like these random spots. 343, 420. 343, 420. 420. Then how rounded are these? Blender animation would be fun. Yeah, I think so. It's something that I've always wanted to try, but like, you know, as I always say, as someone without an art background, I really would have no idea what I'm doing. So I think it'll be fun to do this, because like, honestly, like I've been making UI for like years, right? Like I know basically, like I know my way around Figma. It's not my first rodeo, but something that would be my first rodeo is like Blender. It's like, what am I even doing in there? I don't know. It is so hard. Right? Oh my god, I tried Blender just 2 days ago and I struggled to find a decent guide on the internet. Yeah. Did you try the donut? I think everyone has to try the donut, and then like it's just so hard. I feel like, because I'm not very good at tutorials, to be honest. Like I'm not very good at instructions. I'm definitely the type to be like, just give me the thing, let me play around with it and I'll figure it out on my own. Like give me a task and I'll try to figure out how to do it. But like if you give me a tutorial, steps and everything, like my attention span is so much like a squirrel that like my brain just can't focus on reading instructions or going through tutorials or things like that. That's why whenever I play board games with my friends, someone always has to explain the rules for me, because there's no way I'm reading something and trying to figure it out. Blender Guru was only one. Who did I use for a Blender tutorial before? Anyways, yeah, I thought that would be fun, because like it would be so cool to be able to create something in Blender, and then yeah, isn't this the donut one? I don't think I ever completed the donut one. Who did I use? I did like a sushi tutorial. I was also watching a lot of Overwatch esports. That's why all my history is esports. Blender. Yeah, it would just be the most, like, the coolest thing if you can make something in Blender and then use it in your UI design at the same time. Then it's like actually feels like this is totally your own. Okay, here we go. This is Polygon Runway. I really like his tutorials. I think if you guys wanted to follow Blender tutorials, I highly recommend this one because he goes at a good pace. He has like all the instructions on like of what he clicks and like what he does. I think the projects are very like a good size. He also has courses. I can follow them, which is like I think that says something. If I can follow the course and I can actually create something like this, very satisfying. You learn a lot of different techniques, and like he also explains stuff about like how to move the camera and like change the angle and all that stuff, which I feel like some Blender tutorials don't do that. And like I don't even know how to like move my camera so I can look at this from a different like direction or viewpoint, and like that's how complicated I feel like Blender is. So I think Polygon Runway is like the best when it comes to tutorials for Blender if you guys are interested. Animation is possibly the hardest part of Blender though, depending on what you want to do with it. Oh yeah, I don't think I'm ready for animation in anything until like I can comfortably make what I want to in Blender through like my own imagination and like put that thing onto the screen. Like unless I can do that by myself, I don't think I'm ready for animation, because yeah, animation is like a whole separate skill and it's hard and it takes a really long time. So it'll take forever. Like you can do basic keyframing and move it around, but anything beyond that, you have to understand the graph editor using keyframes and the 12 principles. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just not ready for that. And I know that. I think what was like the most animation thing I've ever done is like creating anime GIFs on Tumblr, right? So like I know nothing about animation. I have a lot of respect for people who can animate things. I think animators should get paid more. But for me to be able to do something like that, I just don't think I'm ready. Like I'm still at that infancy stage where it's like creating what I actually want to, like what I envision with like vector illustrations, creating what I envision through Blender. And I'm just like right at, like I just opened the door for that. So yeah, definitely not there yet. I think I'm good with smart anime for now, yeah. Again, I don't think this is something that you necessarily need in order to become a UX designer or anything. It's cool and it's like very satisfying when you can do it right. But again, this is one of those things that like I don't think a UX designer should need to like be a total expert in. Like it's just an additional fun thing. If you like doing it, then do it and add it to your skill set. But if you don't, like don't force yourself to do it, because there's like enough to learn when it comes to being a UX designer to begin with. Same thing with coding. Like if you want to be a UX designer, you don't have to learn how to code. You already have enough to learn UX side of things that like no one's gonna hire a UX designer that can code only because they can code. Like if they can actually do the actual UX design work. Okay, so we didn't even use this. And then I think I can... What did I do here? Group selection. Why can't I ungroup? There we go. I don't think I need this. I don't need that. I just need this stuff, right? And I'd like to add another color. 3D in your portfolio could definitely give you more opportunities. It could, but is it like an actual UX design opportunity, or is it like a design opportunity? Is it another one of those like roles where you have to do a bunch of other things other than UX design, right? Like, I think that's like the difficulty of it. Like, where's the balance here? If you keep adding all these like coding skill set, 3D animation skill set, vector illustration skill set, like, yeah, you're saying you can do a lot, but like, what do you actually want to do for your career for the long run? You know, because you're not going to be someone who's going to do all of those things. It's just not realistic to be an expert in every single field or area of design. a lot of UX jobs posted now are just front-end jobs labeled UX, where they want you to have skills in Figma as well. Well, I think like UX job, I think if it's like a UX generalist, then like Figma and like prototyping, wireframing skills, that makes sense to me. But if it's like a UX research skill or a job, then it is a little bit odd that they expect you to have those like high fidelity UI design skills as well. That's why it's so like, that's why it just doesn't matter what the job title is. It's all about like what kind of responsibilities that you actually have. I'm just happy Adobe and Figma merger didn't take place. Yeah. Have there been any updates on that? Has anyone said anything afterwards? Like, are they gonna try to get acquired by someone else? Or is everything just like back to normal before any of this happened, and let's pretend like it never happened or something like that? Adobe said they aren't working on XD anymore. I'm not surprised. Yeah, I started UX design with XD actually, because like I had experience with Photoshop and all that stuff, so I thought XD made the most sense. And then once I got my first job, they were like, oh, we use Figma here, and then that's when I learned Figma. And then I just haven't looked back, because like it's just where the industry is going. Okay. So we have all of these. I want another color. This is an image. I feel like I'm not doing this as efficiently as I probably should. Well, that's okay. Is this right? Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I want another color for this. If it's yellow in the background, what kind of color would look nice? Orange? I'm trying to stay away from blue. Maybe just black. Maybe we go black. Do I want black? Ugh. Okay, let me look at colors. When I switched to Figma, I was scared of losing all the XD mockup and XD UI kits, but now it's all good. Yeah, you're good. Do you guys use UI kits? I never really got into them, but I think that's more because like I'm someone who likes like creating every component and everything. So I don't really use like UI kits often if I can. That's another thing, like just like on a side note, when it comes to case studies, I understand the whole purpose of like putting in a style guide of like all the decisions you had to make to create like whatever app is your final solution. But like for the most part, if you join a company, they already have a style guide in place. So it's like, I'm not looking for a junior designer to come up with the style guide. I'm looking to see if you can follow a style guide. So if you have that in your portfolio, I'm not sure if it's like, I don't know, like important enough to keep it in there. Yeah, I think maybe black is the way to go, because I don't want to use blue. Or maybe I do. Let me see what it looks like. I feel like I should be doing this in a much better way, but I can't remember how I used to do this. Don't judge me. I'm confused too. I don't know why I'm doing it like this. Okay. Wait, what are my thoughts on what? This one. AI? It's mid. No, I'm kidding. I think it's a good tool to help you get started. I think it's a good tool to help you like kind of help you think up of copy or kind of like figure out if there's any like additional polish you might want. But when it comes to generating like brand new ideas, not really. Plus like for at least like my line of work, we're not actually allowed to use like ChatGPT with our actual client information for obvious reasons. So like it takes me like, for the project that I'm working on, the presentation that I have to complete at the end of the month, it is going to take me like 20 minutes to explain the whole context behind the project. And that's fast if I didn't have to explain like or answer questions that come up. Like it'll take me about 20 minutes to go through like the entire thing just talking. So to make an app that, or to type in a prompt in ChatGPT or whatever to create something for my product, it's gonna take even longer than that. Like I think it's a helpful tool to help you get started. But at this moment, like it's just a tool. But like honestly, something that you should learn. Let's flip this actually. Get rid of this one. This one. Okay, maybe something like this. Actually, I don't think this is right either. Like this one. Right? So this was our app. This is what we would end up with. Google faced a major backlash with Gemini showed black person as a Native American, I guess. Yeah, I don't know about stuff like that. Like, I don't think you should rely on it and just be like 100% trusting in AI ever. Like, it always is going to need, like, I feel like that human final kind of check in order to make sure everything is okay. I think this is okay. Let's do probably D. Oh, this isn't giving too much like bumblebee looking. So I have to figure out if this is the color palette that I want. I think I'm just like a little bit concerned about the black. Or am I concerned about the yellow? I just don't want to use purple because I've been using it for so often in my latest designs. Purples, blues. I think I want like a nice solid like flat color because I want something very bold. Just me scrolling, trying to find some kind of inspiration. Whenever I'm on like a streaming app and I like start doing the scrolling thing, I know it's because I actually have nothing I want to watch and I'm just trying to like buy time to do something else. See, this color reminds me too much of like Apple like fitness, like health or something, whatever the app is called. I don't think I want that because like when we go back to our original plan for this, like we wanted something to be quite like cozy, soft. Yeah, maybe like a teal. Let's look at more colors. Is teal like calm? It could be, yeah. Let's try something like this. Maybe it's too dark. Let's keep looking. Be like this. Didn't we just use this color for our stock photo website though? Doesn't this remind you of like this color that we used? I know this is more like green, but it kind of just feels like within the same family. Okay, if I type in calm color, what do you get? I think that's the difficulty. Like whenever you're looking at like color palettes, it's like it looks nice for like painting colors, room colors, stuff like that. But with UI, it's so like, because you need to hit like a particular color contrast on it, right? So the app or the website that I usually use is like Happy Hues. So Happy Hues is a website that I've been using for a few years now because it actually creates you color palettes meant for design, like actual like websites or web pages and stuff like that. So you get like a nice background color along with like different colors for like a primary button or a secondary button, a tertiary, and also like text colors. Because like if you look at a painting like a painting or like one of these colors, like color palettes, like it looks great and everything, but like you're never going to be able to read anything from these colors, right? Actually, I kind of like this one, this Pantone color. This is like the kind of color that I want to paint my kitchen like cupboards and like the pantry. What are they called? My kitchen like drawers and everything. Like this is the kind of color that I would want. I actually kind of like this one. What do you guys think? Right? It's like a nice soothing kind of color. For me, when it comes to kitchens, like I absolutely despise like a white kitchen. Cabinets, thank you. I despise a white kitchen. Like I need a kitchen with color or something, like kind of like a mixture of different colors and textures. So like, but I also like kind of like a darker kitchen too. Like I don't want something like really bright like this. I think it looks nice, but I don't know. For me, like it doesn't, like I want like a dark moody kitchen for some reason, like something like this, or like even black or gray. Like I think this is cool. Like I think this is really like cozy and everything. I think this looks like really nice. I love like wood countertops like this, but I heard it's such a pain to upkeep. But like for me, this is a lot more like my style than I would say something like this. Or definitely something like, why do I keep clicking on the ads? Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not saying it looks bad or anything. I keep clicking on the ads. Never mind. I'm not gonna click anymore. But yeah, something like carbon fiber kitchen. Is that what it's called? Carbon fiber kitchen. Yeah, like the dark wood, like the black. Even something like this, like actually maybe not. I don't know, too much wood also bothers me. I don't know, maybe something like this. Oh, it's made of carbon fiber. I see. You don't see it when you make a mess. Yeah, that's probably it. Anyway. Where are we? Yeah, anyway, so I think I do like this color. But I love wooden kitchen, looks cool. I love like wooden countertops. I think if it's like, I think if it's too much wood, it also doesn't look nice. Like I like the mix and match of different textures. Like I can tell, like you can tell someone is a good designer or has a good eye for design if they don't just rely on the same texture to make things look cohesive, right? Like if someone is using wood, same tone everywhere for every piece of furniture, to me, it doesn't look great. Like it looks very heavy, it looks very monotone, one tone, whatever. But someone who actually knows how to use like a matte black, like the carbon fiber, plus wood, plus like a nice metal, and like the different textures of like the kitchen towel or whatever. Like if you can mix and match all of those different pieces and like put in the right lighting and it looks nice, like I think that is like a true sign of someone with a good design eye. Because like, isn't that the whole reason why interior designers are like never buy a matching set of like a bed frame with like nightstands or whatever? Because it just looks too like, I don't know, whatever. But I think it's that same kind of idea. But yeah, anyways, if you guys are interested in a website meant for color palettes for UI, I highly recommend Happy Hues. I'm just gonna drop it in the chat so you guys can see it. I hope you guys can see it, but I recommend this one. This one was one of my favorites. I use this one quite often. And yeah, this one. And I think I use this one often too. And see, it's like that kind of purple, right? Because you can't get too creative for like an actual like usable accessibility, complacent, compliant website. Like there are limitations, especially when it comes to web design, that you don't have in something like graphic design. And I think part of my appeal for UX design and UI design is those like working within those constraints, just like those natural human constraints. Anyways, I kind of like this color, so I think we're gonna go here. I'm also going to change the white, hopefully, to the white that we have here. Oh, this is just a normal one. What does this turn into? Okay, here we go. Is that what you use for your portfolio? No, my portfolio, I just did it on my own. I created the color palette by myself, but my portfolio isn't too complicated. Like, I think one of my biggest mistakes in this whole like UX design journey, whatever, is spending too much time designing and redesigning my portfolio. Like, I really just should have left it more often, stopped looking at it, stopped trying to over design it, redesign it, and spent more time working on my case studies. I think that's like that's what actually matters. I wonder if I can turn this into a blue that matches, because then everything will have that same kind of tone to it, right? Even if like you think your eye can't see it, I think like if there's a feeling in there that you'll get. Now, do we want to do a caption or not a caption, a shadow? Can we use this one? Probably not. Okay, let's actually do the nice midnight blue. Thank you. I enjoy it as well. Thank you, Pantone. I think this could look really nice. I think it gives like, it goes back to that like calming, cozy homebody kind of vibe that we're going for. And I think like we're also well, at least I am kind of biased by like the user that we chose, like Jake. This seems like a very masculine tone, I think. At least to me, it does. Anyway, I wonder what this would look like, this color would look like as a button. Let's try it. Do you guys remember when I first started streaming, I was like, I'm gonna name all my layers and it's gonna look super, super swell and I'm gonna be super organized and everything's gonna be great. Like, please, when have I ever named my layers? I've never named my layers. Add auto component. Let's do that. Do a fill at the back. Let's select this color. Do you guys name your layers when you design? And like, be honest, okay? I have never. This font is also huge. Does that look good? Probably not. I think it looks just too similar because it's the same color, but I don't think this is what I'm going for. I want something... Actually, for an Apple Watch, I don't think you use up all the space, do you? It looks like there's quite a little, just from like what I can see here, because I don't have my own example, it looks like there is quite a bit of space, or there should be. Only components because of prototyping? That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I feel like if you're just creating something for fun, like, do you really need to name everything? I mean, is it fun to name things? Still... I think this blue is very wrong. What can I do to make this blue better? To make it more vibrant? I try to name my layers as much as possible. I start to go crazy when I see frame 10. Oh my gosh, if you saw some of my designs... Hold on, let me see if I can... Enjoy my wallpaper for now. I can show you some of my... Okay, maybe not. I collaborated with my coworker and it became frame. Yeah, really big numbers. We have those kind of files in at my work too, like frame 13,000, frame 1,000, whatever. It's a lot though, but like, I mean, is anyone actually gonna go back to like rename them? So I want to, I think this is okay. How would this look here? The blue is giving very default blue, like default link blue. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe more rounded corners. I think the corners do need to be more rounded, but I think it's already at 8, but I think it's the blue color that's kind of bothering me. It's like it's like if you were to go on Wikipedia and you saw a link, it looks like that kind of blue, and I don't think that's what I want. I would rename them, but I don't think my coworker and manager care that much about the naming. Yeah. What was I think like I remember I was working somewhere before, and like I think that was an intern job. Something like renaming layers or renaming variables or something like that. I can't remember. I was never an intern. Like I never did any internship for software development or for UX design, so I'm not really sure. I don't think I've ever like worked super closely with an intern either. Only like junior or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe like for a summer, that's what you kind of end up doing. How's this? I like the darker one, right? The borders are wrong. I know the radius is wrong, but I think this looks a little better. Do I want to add like a gradient to this? Do you guys have a preference for gradients? Like, do you like the dark color on this side and then the lighter color on this side? Or do you like to flip with like light color on this side, dark color on this side? I think it would make dev teams work a little easier. Yes, like as long as you have like a consensus on how variables are named, I think it's great. But like, if you just let an intern rename things like without proper documentation, then it just kind of gets a little bit messed up. I think the wording is also throwing me off. Like, it's definitely not going to be lighting. So I'm thinking like, okay, oops. Oh, okay, so I'm thinking we have our app, we have the whole Dribbble layout that we're going to create. And what we're going to do is use like the different parts of the story that we created for our fake user, Jake. And each of these screens is going to be like a different screen on his Apple Watch as he goes through each of these things. So like when he gets home from work, what do you do when you get home? You like put your keys down and you take off your shoes and you turn on the lights. So like maybe he has something on his phone that's like adjusting the lighting, right? And then we're going to keep going and it's like, maybe the screen is going to be a food ordering. This is going to be the map to track the ordering. And then like going on and on and on and on until we like fill out these different Apple Watch thingies. Right? So that's kind of the plan. What would that be called? Like, it's not lighting, right? Or, I think it's like, hold on, wait. I think, cause like I have the Govee light bulbs in my light up there and then also like just around the room. So I can adjust it and make it like different. So maybe let me take a look at that. I usually just stick to like the pink one though, because that's my favorite. So if I go to the office light, I can change it to like green or something. Right? But like, I don't really like those colors. And then all of them are like done by a switch. I think this is what we had. So I think maybe that's kind of what I want to do. I want to do like a nice slider. What would you call this? Okay, maybe let's decide, where would this person live? Is it like an apartment? Do you call it just the light? Big light? Living room? Shoe area? Mudroom? Or entryway. Let's call it entryway. Is entryway one word or two words? Entryway. Okay, entryway is one word. So let's capitalize things. Drink water. Are you telling me to drink water? You're probably right. I never drink enough water when I stream. So I have like my jug, right? I have 2 of these every single day. But whenever I stream, I don't drink it as like consistently as I usually do. So then by the end of the stream, I'm like trying to chug water before I go to bed, and then I like wake up and then I have to like use the washroom at night. Is this a good size? I think so. Does the Apple Watch have like... Yeah, I guess you do have a back arrow. I think just with how this looks, maybe we need something. I'll just draw my own. How thick is this? Okay, we'll do 4. Turn it. Spacing do you get on an Apple Watch? Is it okay to still use 8x8? Does that look too thick? Two of those jugs, like 3 liters. Yeah, 2 of these jugs. Like 2 of these filled up all the way every day. Have to stay hydrated. I feel like this is too big now. Let's try 32. And then maybe like a little kebab menu next to it. I think that would be cute. How does that feel? Does that feel okay? And then I want 2, like, or a slider. So like, okay, let's think about this. If you have a watch on your wrist, you just got home, do you want to be sliding it up and down? Or do you want to slide it left to right? Like thinking about it from a usability perspective. This is like a light dimmer thingy, right? It's like, actually, hold on, wait. You just got home. Lights turned on. Light is on. It could be small. I think it's actually too close together. I did 2, 4. Probably like this. It's a little. Okay, let me know how this goes. I won't have the energy to swipe at all. Well, you. Let me think about this. Do you want to be swiping left and right to show, like, to set the... Probably not, right? Maybe you would have presets. So like, you know how on your phone you have like the different, like you have the menu, like the focus thing, and then you have like all the little like other like focus, personal, sleep, that kind of thing. Maybe that would work better. So let's try something else instead. We'll say this is a preset. Did I take the... Okay, no. I think this one is the one we are working with. So let's take this. Ooh, what about like a fully rounded one? I like never used full rounded buttons before in work, I think. Usually, like, I think it's because I work like a lot of corporate design jobs. We always have like the corners. I might use a digital crown to scroll. I have to look that up. What's a digital crown? Is that like... Okay, that's probably like a physical button, right? Maybe I should just buy an Apple Watch to make this thing, right? Okay, yeah, so you have that. So I think, right, okay, good thinking. So digital crown is the little side button apparently that you have on the Apple Watch. So it probably won't make sense to create a slider in our UI. Instead, let's keep going with the idea that we have now of like presets. So it's like what is this called? Evening? I feel like this is just 32. How does this look now? Is this still too small? Look at me doubting myself. How about 4, like this? If we go all the way back. Right? I think it looks okay now. Okay, we're gonna leave it. So these are our boundaries. So if we had our ruler open, have our two boundaries here, and then our button needs to be fixed to what did I do? Is that okay? One more. Okay, I definitely moved something, didn't I? What did I do? Okay. Right? Okay, I think this is gonna work. So we'll say that like you probably get multiple. So if you get multiple of these, then you'll probably just be able to see like a hint of one underneath. But I don't like how the title is basically the same size as these ones. I feel like I need a smaller font. Plus, I think we're gonna have an icon here too, just so it doesn't look as weird. So let's do, I think this is okay. What would different light settings be called? Maybe this is an entryway. Maybe this is like home vibes. And they'll have like, I want to say like it's weather dependent. Like it's a sunny day, it's a gloomy day, it's evening. I guess evening is one. Now, how do I feel about if we did have a button kind of peeking to imply that we would be able to scroll and see more options? How would this look? If this blue is too close, I think it's fine. No, we're gonna leave it. Okay, so I guess we're going for very rounded buttons today. I don't know if I'm gonna need this, but I'll save it. And then semantics, like semantics for the title. What does the word semantics mean? Semantics. I don't get it. Semantics. Is that intuitive? Something. Okay, there's a few things I want to do. One, I want to think of good names for this. I want to add an icon to each of these, and I also want to change up the like the gradient, because it's not heavy enough for me to really see it. I think I need that. So like if I use home vibes, sunny, gloomy evening isn't really gonna make sense. Home vibes is more like cozy, or like, oh my gosh, words are so hard. Cozy, productive. I don't know. I don't know right now, you guys. I think I'm just getting tired. Okay. Chaos. I know that sounds more like right than cozy, like productive vibes. Calm, cozy. Ugh. Let me ask ChatGPT. What kind of vibes can a home have? I don't think this is what I want. What kind of home lighting vibes? The ChatGPT isn't dumb, it's just me. I can't come up with a good prompt. Relax, yes. Relax would be great. Relax. Cozy, relax. How do you put like is productive a vibe for a home? Like, what does that mean? If your home was productive, like what kind of lighting does that make it? Like cozy has one, I can see it. Relaxing. Romantic? See, I just see all the same thing. Nightlight, energize, concentrate, dimmed. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna go with that. How do we want to organize this? I think let's do energize first. I only have room for 3. Productive is brown. Productive is brown. What kind of noise do you guys like when you're being productive? Like there's white noise, there's brown noise. I think brown noise works the best for me. I'm gonna put energize, relax. I like nightlight just because I like the word nightlight. Is that like one word or 2 words? Green? Okay, we only need 3, so I might just go with these ones. Yeah, okay, I think this is okay. And then we'll apply that there's more because there's one underneath there. That's fine. Okay, great. You guys are better than ChatGPT. Okay, and then I also want to change the gradient. I should have just made this into a component. Am I blind? Why can't I see this? Oh yeah, because it's like at 10. Ooh, this kind of looks cool. Wait a minute. Do I like this? Right? Why do I like this so much? Okay, hold on. Let's save it so we never lose it. We'll create a component. Let's go. Okay, wait, what did these say again? Relax. Oh my gosh, what did you guys say again? Nightlight, okay. Thank goodness for chat history. Okay, right? I think it looks kind of nice. Nice and modern. Are we good? Are we too good at this? Who's ever gonna stop us? We're just better. We're just better. I like it. Wait, do I like it? No, if I look at it too much, I'm gonna start doubting myself. Do you guys ever think we should be paid for this? I do. Okay, you know what? I think I might actually call it here. We're gonna end off on a high. It's really late. I can feel my throat hurting. I had to finish my water before I go to sleep in like an hour. And I had this much to drink, which is like possibly a liter. Yeah, okay, I think this is good. I want to stream more, so I might actually stream tomorrow, probably at the same time, but I'll let you guys know if I decide that, probably on Instagram. I like this. Do you guys like this? I like this. Right? Okie dokes, everybody. We are gonna call it a good night. You guys are gonna have the rest of your Saturday night to do whatever you want. I'm gonna be drinking water and then I'm gonna go to bed. Thank you guys so much for watching. If I stream tomorrow, I will post it on Instagram so you guys will know. But if not, then I will see you guys on Tuesday like we regularly do. The VOD of this is going to be up on Twitch as soon as this video is the stream is done. I'll see you guys all. Have a great night. And a VOD of this is going to show up on YouTube as well if you guys are interested and want to watch there. Alrighty, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.